Hello, welcome pen friends. I'm back to give you kind of a progress report on how the 8 pens, fountain pens and inks are going for March 2022, and I just can't believe we've already arrived at pretty much the middle of the month. Today is the 15th and I just can't believe it. I'm continuing to explore the Unison Composition book that pen friend Marilyn sent. The paper is made in Vietnam and it's very much compatible and similar to the CVS caliber, which is my all-time favorite. And when I get done, when I fill this one up, I've got one that's Oxford, and this one pen friend Kathy sent, and the paper is also made in Vietnam. So I'm looking forward to that as a exploration too, because this has got spiral. So I like both composition and spiral. But anyway, we'll jump right in, and it's been a challenge to just focus on these 8 pens. So what I ended up doing was cleaning out everything else. I think I've only got 2 other fountain pens inked up. One of my little Moon Man minis, and I did refill the Opus 88 purple, but then I didn't really like it because it wasn't as vibrant as the cross violet. So anyway, I've got those. I'm going to clean those out. I am serious about focusing on the 8 pens right now because I've been scattered, and it's just really makes me feel good to take real good care of the pens. So I've cleaned everything else out, and those 2 will be cleaned out today because it's okay. It's just going to help me to focus, and I need all the help I can get right now. So okay, so jumping right in, the very first, I'm going to move that over so that we have, yeah, we just need a little more space. The very first pen we're going to talk about, pen and ink, is the Pen BBS 352 with a 1.1 Anderson nib. So this is one of my favorite inks. It's just such a vibrant color and it's so pretty. One observation, I've given it an A because I enjoy it, I like it a lot, but it is better on Tomoe River paper with this nib. I'm toying with the idea today, later on, of pulling that off and putting a broad nib, a number 6 broad nib on here, because that might change the versatility just for me. So, you know, I really favor the Made in Vietnam papers because I take lots and lots of notes and I use a lot of paper every day. So I tend to prefer my Tomoe River paper, the more expensive paper, for letter writing. But this has been really great for letter writing, and it's a great combination. It's nothing against the nib, the ink, or the pen, that it isn't as compatible on this paper. I really believe that the broad nib will be, so I'm going to try that. This is what it looked like when I activated my little word with the water brush, which is something that I just love to do throughout my note-taking process. And I made a little note that this is one of my top inks. And I love this pen. It's beautiful, and it's got a super comfortable grip section, and very versatile because you can change the nib out. So that's what I plan to do. I want to really see how it feels with that broad nib. Okay, so next up is the Jinhao 159 in yellow. Whoops. I hadn't really thought this through very good. My whole setup had to be switched because somehow Coco had rearranged everything for me. So I don't know how he did it, really. It's hard enough for me to make the settings change, so I'm not sure how he did it on my little bracket that holds my camera. Anyway, this has got a gorgeous broad nib on it, a JoWo nib that came from when I bought a Serendipity. So this is a beautiful ink. But what I noticed is that after I write a while with it, it becomes almost like a highlighter yellow. It didn't quite show that way here, but you can see that it's darker when it first starts. So I've been finding myself, I did give it a B, which kind of surprised me, actually. That's kind of brutal for me. I've been finding myself just saturating the feed by kind of cheating and turning the converter a little to put ink there. So I'm thinking to myself how nice this would be like with my glass nib. You know, it wouldn't matter how much ink got laid down. I would just like it all the better with more saturation. It just looks so nice when you first start to write. And I don't think, you know, that's not the pen's fault. I really don't think so. I think it's just that I have this desire for really good readability. And I have this memory of Birmingham Golden Gazette. And that ink was just, that hit the spot that I like with a gold or yellow, kind of just a goldish yellow. So, but this has been very nice and it's fun, but I see it more as a sort of highlighting and adding in something, or maybe a box around notes. And I've done okay with letter writing with it. So, and I think people who are not quite as sensitive to having the darker readability would still like this. I mean, even on this paper, which tends to also lighten up writing, it's been good. Now the lighting, the light and the camera is making it look to you brighter and lighter, so that's unfortunate. I always get frustrated by that, but oh, and I didn't even get the card out. Yeah, this is the ink tile. And next up, okay, is the green, transparent green Eco, Twispy Eco, with a medium nib. It does have, yeah, medium nib. And I put in it platinum mixable leaf green. Very good. It's very vibrant in the splatters and not so much in the writing on this paper, but it's been quite pleasant on Tomoe River paper for writing letters, so I've been enjoying that. And we'll peek into the Tomoe River journal, where I've also done the report card and maybe added a few more notes toward the end. So let's see, I plan to move it into my bullet journal pen case soon. It will give me a red, green, blue. Well, I cleaned everything out, so this will be all by itself for a while. I think probably gray will be the first pen that will be added to the green that will go in my bullet journal case. Okay, darker on Tomoe River paper, but suitable for this notebook. Yeah, and it looks really nice. It lightens up kind of when you lift it with the water brush, so it was really pleasant. It's nice. Okay. And next up is kind of a favorite combination. Next up is the Opus 88 Omar with a broad nib. I just love these. I mean, they're quite a tank full of ink. The way I end up using them up, how I used up the cross violet in the purple one was just copious notes that I take every morning in the books I'm reading. So I did give this an A+. I love it, and it's great even on this paper. It has the flow and it behaves well on here. It doesn't drag at all. Yes, I said originally a pen friend BH, and then I did purchase a bottle. What happened was I had this Colorverse Supernatural as a sample for a long time before I ended up getting this pen, which has kind of a green body, a translucent green body, and I just knew instantly when I tried this that this was the ink for it. So I went about trying to find a bottle, and I finally did. I think it was Triumph, or I can't remember how to pronounce that, but I can link it for you. So this is not a surprise. I definitely love it, and I will carry this over for note taking. What I end up doing is in my Knox Sinclair, I keep pens to write notes with for the next month, unless I decide to clean them out. And there are a couple of these that I'll definitely clean out. Like, I definitely plan to clean this one out. Probably put it back in its little ink sample. I have another green I like better. Okay. I'm really scattered, and I didn't think I was. But you see how beautiful that is when you use a water brush, but you're getting a whole different color even than you get in the writing when you add the water. And I think that's just wonderful. It's so much fun. Okay, next one. It doesn't look like I can decide what the grade is on this one. Diamine Flowers Pansy, which has kind of a green, gold sheen on it. And I got it because I thought it would be about as close as I could get to Lamy Dark Lilac. It does have a sheen, but not as drastic when you do the splatters as Lamy Dark Lilac. I kept on kind of changing my mind. It is in the Hongdian forest with a Fude nib, and I love this pen. I think I'm haunted by the wonderful memory of how Noodler's Purple Mountain Majesties worked in it. And this combination just works so much better on Tomoe River paper because for some reason this paper reacts a little and you get a little bit of a missing man formation here. Let me show you. You end up with, I want to get that up there as far as I can. See, that's not a hard start or anything. It's just the way the flow is, and it's just different with this ink. And it did surprise me. But I am not seeing that at all on Tomoe River paper. And after all, I'm asking a lot of an inexpensive 50-cent notebook or $3 in the case of the CVS Caliber. It just teaches me that for whatever reason, that Noodler's Purple Mountain Majesties is a better combination for me with this nib and the paper that I use so much. So, okay. That is that. I don't know what was going on that day, but we can use our imaginations because it's been a rough time. But okay, both in the family and in the world. So don't want to talk about that though. Okay, so next up, this is our retreat corner here. The TWSBI Diamond 580 with a medium nib unit on it and Athena gray. And it looks almost black, but this is a neat ink. It's got so much complexity. I really love this. It's growing on me as the month goes on, and this is, you know, halfway, and I'm picking this up a lot for notes, and I'm making boxes around what I write like I did here. And you know, this was just dragging the water brush along what I wrote big, and it just looks nice. Let's see if I can get it up closer for you. So you could see that some of the complexity in the ink starts to come out. I really like that. I just enjoy it so much. I'm not sure about how I feel yet about it looking more like a black ink in my writing, but I think I can live with it because of that, the feature that it's so nice in my note-taking notebook. And the flow is just excellent, even on this paper, which I sometimes describe the paper as dry. Now I'm talking about all of these across the board, not just the Unison, but the CVS Caliber, all the Vietnam-made papers they can affect the feel of your writing. It's not as smooth as your other papers like Tomoe River paper or I'm trying to think of what that's called. The Hamlin Optic is another one that I'm finishing up, so that's been on my mind. But this gets an A. This is excellent. I do like the color of Graf von Faber-Castell Stone Gray a little better. It reads a little lighter on the page. But that doesn't stop me from really enjoying this ink color. Okay, next up. Ooh, this is the big one. This is the surprise of March in the fact that I didn't expect this to end up being my favorite of the 8, but it is. And I've always loved the pen and everything, but there's something about this combination of the nib unit I put in it, the ink, and the whole thing. And I've tried to convey it here, but I gave it an A double plus. And I said, this is my top favorite combo. It is. Flow, smoothness, pen and grip. Yeah, I do. I like the comfort of the pen. It's just a very nice pen to write with. It's metal, but it's not too heavy and it's comfortable. It's got the plastic section there. And the beauty of the ink just can't be talked about too much. It's gorgeous, and the splatters are just amazing. And then down here where the water brush hit, it almost becomes pink, but it's just so pretty. Perfect nib ink paper combo. Yes, that's how I would describe it. Aurora purple. I'm jumping all over like a jumping bean. I'm hoping everybody is also reading and not just listening to me, because oh my goodness. But yeah, this takes, you know, the spoiler alert here, that takes the cake. It's my favorite combination this month. And if I had to predict, I would have said it was going to be the Omar, the Opus 88 Omar, which I love. But I love purple too, and just something about the, well, I think I know what it is. I think it's the flow. And that's a medium nib, and it's just happy. It's got more flow than the next pen. We'll talk about that in a minute. This is the Opus 88 unit, but it's a JoWo nib, so that's really cool. Really enjoyed it. Let's see. We should look at least at that tile, because it's just astounding. It's lightening up under the camera and lights, but it's really pretty. Okay, then last but not least is, we'll get everything here. We'll get the pen. The Twispy Mini AL with a broad nib, but this one, this one doesn't, it writes about the same as the medium Opus nib. So that's interesting. Okay, but that's with these specific inks and everything. We have to be really specific here. It definitely says broad. I ordered this separately. Actually, and it looks like a broad nib. I've looked at it under the loop and everything, and definitely it looks okay. But with this particular ink, it doesn't, it just sort of reminds me that some of my Twispy Go's are broad nibs. Okay, and I made a note, a rather unique color, which I enjoy a lot. Feels like a medium nib. Yeah, I said that with another ink too, though. And this is Pilot Iroshizuku Fuyu-gaki. It's really nice. And I just think that's lovely how it, how it lifted in with the water brush. And I said it's a nice combination. I've used all of these in pen pal letters. I seem to be slow like a turtle with my pen pal letters. I'm trying so hard. But there have been days when I just couldn't write anything, and I would imagine I'm not the only one. Some days I haven't actually, tried to force it or push myself, but I'm at that point now where I realize that I'll probably feel better once I write, so I just need to write, and make sure that I'm not letting things stop me from the good. So, okay, let's look into the Tomoe River 68 GSM. This is the Bond travel gear. It's almost full. I'm so excited. I'm sure that I'm going to finish before the year finishes with this. Let's see. So this is not going to be anything new. Let's make this bigger, because we just talked about most of this. But I did maybe think of a few things. So the first one, the Pen BBS, got an A, better on Tomoe River paper. The yellow gold ink, it just is a colorway that gives me a lot of problems, so I'm not surprised. But I would love to paint with that and use it full saturation with my glass nib pen, so that's probably what I'll do. And then the Twispy Eco. Oh, this was a new insight. I do prefer KWZ Green number 5, so too bad I didn't just go straight for that, but this isn't bad. It's a pretty ink, but the KWZ, I think, gave me much more flow. And then the Omar, well, that's a great pen. I love it. Same here with the Hongdian, the Fude nib, but you see how we did not lose. We did not have any problems with little lost lettering or anything here on the Tomoe River paper. So that, you could give it a whole different grade. I could give it an A+ on this paper, probably. So that's something to think about. And then, oh yeah, I did a little, I did a little activation there, because I just can't get enough of seeing how that ink looks. It almost looks like a purple or blue coming out. It's really pretty. And then the A++, this is, this definitely wins the honor so far at the halfway point, which I'm almost certain by now how I feel about these combinations. And there's nothing that has to be you know, smoothed or worked on, except I would like to change this out, so I'll do that. Okay, and then that was the Twispy Mini. That's a really pretty, and even there, it looks nicer on this paper because it gives a little more saturation and flow on the Tomoe River paper. So I think that's pretty much where I stand with that. Okay, I think that's everything for this video. I was going to mention though that I did use the loop on this pen very carefully because at first it felt so dry. Platinum Mixable Leaf Green, and I didn't understand. I thought, well, this is brand new to me. So I investigated very closely to make sure I didn't have any misaligned tines or anything wrong. No, everything's fine with it. So I have not yet put the KWZ Green number 5 in this particular eco. That would be really interesting to do, clean it out and try it and see. But I have a feeling that there's nothing wrong with the nib and that it's an ink tolerance, ink difference, kind of memories of a smoother experience. I can see Princess wants to go outside. Okay, so I'm gonna call it a video, and hopefully this either inspired you or was interesting in some way. I kind of get off on all kinds of tangents, and I'd like to keep that for a face-to-face video. So I will see you next time, and I hope that you all are safe and happy and doing well. And I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.